being courageous does actually benefit yourself a lot. Anything is almost possible. And when that kind of belief is ingrained in you, most likely it will help you a lot in life.
What is up, folks? Mel right here, and once again with another amazing podcast episode, this time around with the amazing David Lai, magician, entrepreneur, man with a massive network. Now he's into physical body transformation, he's into health, biohacking, and just all-around great guy. So we're just going to have conversations around many of these topics. Oh, public speaker too these days.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's
big stage public speaker. So we're going to talk a lot about all of these things. So we're going to have a great time. So welcome, David.
Thank you so much for having me, man. Yeah, this is one unique place. Yeah, unique Saturday morning. With you, definitely up for it.
All right, David. Let's run through. People know you for many things that you do.
That's right.
You do a whole variety of things. You create network. You speak. You are in the body transformation. But let's begin all the way at the roots, which is magic. And how did you get into it? What was your entry point in it? What got you interested in it? What are some of the things that you've done via magic?
I think I can remember this story by closing my eye because I gave this story many times. Yeah, but however, I guess the entry level for me to magic was puberty. Girls wanted basketball players. Yeah, badminton players. I couldn't do both, so I learned magic. So when I was about 13, I got seriously into magic. Yeah, but prior to that, what perked my interest was David Copperfield. I think David Copperfield, 1991, I saw him brought a ship back that's lost in the Bermuda Triangle. And at that age, I thought that was how God looked like.
Wow.
Yeah. From then on, I didn't have much resources because those days it was all mail order. Yeah, it was all mail order. If you want to learn any magic trick, it was all mail order from the USA. And parents didn't have a credit card. Yeah, so couldn't order much. Yeah. And I only began starting to really dive into the whole art at 12 or 13 years old. That's when puberty hits. And went to a big bookstore, MPH Mid Valley, which is still there, but moved place is still there. Bought a huge-ass magic book, learned a lot of things myself, and tested it all with my classmates. That's how the story started.
Magic is such a very interesting craft because so much to practice and it's almost like a short 10-second trick, 30-second trick, a minute trick takes so many amounts of practice. So what's the process like for you, just all the way from the beginning all the way till now? Because not many magicians want to talk about the act of practicing, even though the whole goal is to make something that is unnatural seem perfectly natural. And so what was the process like for mastery of just practicing?
I think for me, at where I'm at right now, at the age I'm at, because I transcended to a producer after that, from a magician, then after that to a producer, and then after that to a director, So I do produce magic shows, and I guess in terms of mastery, I work with some of the best in the world. The big take-home that everyone resonates is this: you have to master how to be likable first. If you're not likable, irregardless of what you do, people don't give a shit. Literally. You can be doing the best card trick in the world, the most visual one, but if people don't like you as a character, you're not going to clap your hands. The same goes with comedian though. If you hate the comedian so much, if he tells a joke, you might say it might be good, but it's not funny. So yes, that's first part, be likable first. Okay. And then after that, in terms of technicality, every trick is different. There's so many diverse subdivisions of magic, which is most likely parlor magic, mind magic, sleight of hand. So every particular trick, it takes a different amount of practice. So I went into mind magic, mental magic, mentalism. Hence, a lot of the practice involves linguistic. Tonality, linguistic, how to pause, how to actually force, or the French word equivoque. Equivoque meaning that regardless of what the person says, you force it. Like this, for example. You want this or this? This. Okay, I'll throw away this. If the person says that, what is this? You want this? I'll throw away this. You're gonna be fast. You're gonna be confident. So that was the line that I went to. And I think it was because I could speak well, and I think I can speak well. So hence that was the line I went to instead of pure sleight of hand, which I can do, but not as good as the best people in the world.
Then just beginning at 12, 13, and you just read a book, wasn't that good? What was the process like? Was it always successful? Did you practice at home and then start to impress your friends? And did you mess up several times and people were like, hey man, you should the career man, and then you like just didn't give up?
So the good thing about it was that after the book, I got so confused because it's like reading, it's like learning how to
I've
play the piano
before, and they're like not really easy to follow.
Yeah, so take this into context. So it's like learning to play the piano by reading a book. It's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, so to just reflect on that. Yeah, looking at the whole page, the essay. And you look at the essay, okay, put this card, and you don't know whether the trick is working. You're really not sure whether the trick is working. So that was a good thing also as well, because I didn't copy anyone's style. I didn't copy anyone's style because there's no style to copy, because it's just words. Yeah, and because I didn't have a mentor, it developed my skill to learn. Yeah. So when you talk about the process, whether it failed or not, I didn't know. As long as I got a reaction, or as long as the punchline worked, not sure whether the trick worked, because the trick to work is the end of the paragraph, right? You wouldn't know. Yeah, it's judged on the audience reaction. So practice in the mirror. Yeah, technicalities. Yeah, and after technicalities, straight away action.
Oh wow,
perform. Yeah. So that was my life during 13, 14 years old. Yeah. It also taught me how to be really courageous, because irregardless whether you feel or not, and people say they can look at it, and if people say they can actually spot how you do it, you actually apologize.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you actually apologize. And how you enter, instead of performing to show off, you also learn how to perform to practice. Being that, hey guys, I've got something I just learned. I'm not sure whether it worked, but I'm going to show you right now. If it's good, tell me it's good. If it's bad, just tell me it's bad, right? And when you go into that entry kind of level, like in that way, people are not going to want to be the jerk. Yeah, people are not going to be the jerk. He just told me he's practicing. Yeah, what am I going to do? What am I going to tell him? Yeah, even as a 13, 14-year-old, people are not going to want to, caught you. Hey, wait, just told me he's practicing, right? Yeah, the other people, the other girls are like, hey, he just told he's practicing, come on, give it a chance. Yeah, like, he doesn't want to sound like a jerk. Yeah. So that taught me a lot about humility and how to practice properly, rather than go in ultra confident, making a fool out of yourself and not admitting a mistake.
Wow, wow. Let's talk a little bit about, you also had to go to street performance. You also had to perform the people of you didn't know, and you kind of mentioned like at the start perhaps you didn't know some of these people. Was it scary? What's it like to table to table and meet people?
So the memory I have with this, so I always carry a deck of cards, and I always carry sponge balls, the red sponge balls you always see magicians have. So I had sponge balls in my left pocket, cards in my right pocket, and then I have a gimmick note and a lot of stuff in my pockets. Yeah, wherever I go to, regardless whether it's the mall, if it's the mall, it's the food court. While people are waiting for their food, I go to perform there. It's KLCC.
And how old is this?
13 years old.
Not damn. Okay.
Yeah,
wow.
13 years old. Yeah. So why did I do it? Let me think.
Was it scary? Is like it's not scary.
Yeah, it was. So this the part that's ingrained in me. Yeah, and I know right now I do the ice bath every single day. Yeah, I like to do things that scare me. Yeah, I think it's bred from that past experience where I feel that if this is going to stress me out, it's going to make me better. And it came from that young age. Yeah, it really came from a young age. And while I was performing for my friends in school, they were kind to me, rather kind, because I know them and it's not embarrassing and it's not hard to approach them. But I wanted to make the stakes harder, hence I went to strangers.
At 13 years old? At 13 years old, in public places?
13 years old in public places. At 14, the water fountain in KLCC right in front there just opened. Yeah, and that was my spot, because there were tourists and there were foreign tourists right there. And because they were foreign tourists and they were actually accustomed to basking in overseas, which I was not. They appreciated the art a lot. So when you have a lot of appreciation,
they give you tips also.
But I didn't accept. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I didn't accept. At that time, I'm not sure why I didn't accept, but most likely it's because I said, "Hey, this is something I want to do for you." Yeah. So that's how I got started off, got practice, and it was quite raw, very raw.
What were some of the experiences you remember from just...
I think at 13, 14 years old, tourists wanted to tip you at about $200. That's a lot of money. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, $200 is a lot of money, because they really appreciated this young boy. Yeah, that's really nerdy. Yeah, not wearing a magician outfit, but wearing pants and sandals, coming up, showing a really good trick. Yeah.
Oh shit.
So when they show you a really good trick, and you must understand, this was not the days of internet, either videos. You're actually learning this by yourself, improvising how to make the trick better.
And reading the book.
And the book was one part. So after you read the book already, that's it. Yeah. You don't go back to the book. Yeah, you just improvise by yourself because there's no improvisation on the book. Yeah, there was no forums to see what other people were doing. Neither was there videos to follow. There was still no YouTube in those days. Yeah.
Wow.
I think that was one. And after that, I guess the biggest one was while I was doing magic there, suddenly a reporter came by. Yeah, a reporter came by. He says by the Star. So the Star was the biggest English newspaper at that time. And said, I want to make an interview of you. His name was Izwan, so he made an interview of me, and then after that he had a photographer take some shots. I didn't think of it much, but after 2 weeks later, I became the cover spread story in the newspaper, 3-page center spread. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Goddamn. At 14?
At 40. At 40.
And what did they say? Was it good stuff at least?
It was really good stuff. So you must understand, this is a pre-internet era.
Yeah.
If you appear on the front cover, center spread with 3 pages there, you're quite famous. It's like everybody buys a newspaper at that time, and everybody and open there. When you right smack, you don't even open a single page. You see street magician David Lai. Yeah. Right.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was kind of that was the thing that taught me that being courageous does actually benefit yourself a lot. Yeah. And that was the time when I went to the pasar, went to the market, and the uncle said, "Hey, are you the guy? You're this one, right?" Yeah. And you must understand, my parents are teachers. I have no idea what fame was at that time, and it was the first time I felt really famous. Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah,
famous and appreciated for the art. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. This is a first of all, very unusual teenage years. You got to say. I cannot think of any other teenager who's performing in public places with cards in one pocket, red balls in another pocket.
Yes, I did get into some trouble. So there was some construction workers nearby my house. Yeah, and there were Bangladeshi workers. I went there and say, "Hey, I said in Malay. Yeah, hey, you want to see something? You want to see something? Hey, what you want to show? What you want to show?" So they thought it was a flasher. Yeah. I'm not even kidding. Yeah, they really thought it was a flasher. So it was kind of like really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. And then let's move on to the next part, which is a great story, which is you mentioned the idea of, overcoming fear in street magician. What makes a good magician? Because you mentioned just now, you need to have a character, you need to be likable, you need to practice the craft. What makes a good performance? Because we're going to talk eventually about, public speaking, and these days you do a lot of it, and, it's just like amazing, and you treat it a lot like a performance. But let's define what makes a good magician, what makes a good performer in your years of experience of doing it and also observing, producing.
I think segmentization of the whole trick is really important. And I'm saying this because I'm thinking really properly to say this so that I'm saying this right. Yeah. The whole trick by itself is an experience. Yeah. You must understand the first thing is intention. You have to have... This was taught to me by a really, really good magician. He says, "Why are you doing magic?" And people don't want to be tricked. Yeah. People want to be entertained. As a magician, regardless of what you do, you have to first have the intention to entertain, to add value, rather than to show off, rather than to trick them, rather than to look good, rather than to look skillful. You have to entertain first. Yeah. And that intention is really important because how you approach the crowd will determine how they respond. If you're with a guy and a girl and you approach the girl first, that's going to be a very bad show. Yeah, it's going to be a really, really bad show. Yeah. Okay. If you're with a group right there and you approach the person that is most naive, the person that is most naive, and ignore the heckler while the heckler is keep on heckling you, it's going to be a really bad night as well. Yeah. You know how to approach with the right intention. Yeah. You got to actually measure your crowd. Yeah. That's the first thing. Second thing is that this got to be learned from experience. Second thing is that after you perform already, you have to script. You have to script your dialogue. Yeah. Everything has to be scripted. If it's improv, you think you're so confident that you're doing improv right there. It's the best magicians I know. When you look at them on video when they're performing, it's like impromptu. But if you look at their performance again at other videos, which they perform the same thing, it's all scripted. Their dialogue is all scripted. They know how to respond for every single resistance that happens. I know how is it done. Yeah, you're right. That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, well, and then you're gonna, hey, all right, you caught me, but hey, let's make sure the others are happy, right? Yeah. So you gotta respond because you must understand you're dealing with people, and it's not one way. Yeah, you need to understand how to actually respond. So first thing intention, second thing script, and then after you script already, put in the modalities and technicalities right there. Yeah, all the misdirection, where to pause, where to move, and so forth. And the last one is keep on practicing.
So this is a performance, because the whole goal is to make something that is otherwise very well intended, scripted, and just really not very natural, but seem like it's like in the moment.
Exactly. Yeah. So it has to be rehearsed so many times until it feels natural. Yeah. So for me last time when I first started off, obviously it was a hobby. When it was just a hobby, you see a trick you want to entertain and you do it.
Yeah.
So next phase is how to make it better. Then I got to learn about intention. Then make it better again. Oh, there's scripting inside. Yeah, inside as well. Everything is scripted. Yeah. Because when you follow a world champion around, you see him doing the same trick over and over every single night. You say, damn, it's all the same language. It's the whole dialogue is the same, regardless of who the volunteer is. Yeah. Regardless of who the volunteer is, it's the same punchline. Yeah. And then once you do that already, you know how to get applause. Yeah. The correct pause. Yeah. Showing the card to the audience first, and then showing the card to everybody, spectators. Yeah. So you get a 2-time applause. So. And then show it about it. So it's a double applause. Yeah. All these small little nuances are really important in the whole performance. Yeah.
And did you get a mentor to teach you this kind of thing? Because I can think that it's quite a leap, right? From performing at the fountain all the way to eventually, and you should share a little bit like what were some of the biggest stage that you performed on, and like did anyone teach you how to do this kind of stuff?
So this is a thing that I think that I would have actually leaped in front much faster if I had a mentor. And I'm very appreciative for all the people that have taught me stuff, small stuff, but I never really had a mentor. Yeah. No one person actually guided me throughout the whole process. Because this was Malaysia way back at that time where there was really no mentorship on magicians. Yeah. And if I really did have a mentor, and I would actually say right now, but I can't even think of one. Yeah. Most likely the biggest mentor was my mom. Was actually my mom, and how she presented, because she was a headmaster. And how she actually educated the students, and how she actually managed the crowd. Yeah. So because if you can't manage dude. If you want to be a magician for a one-on-one performer, how are you gonna make a living? Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, performing to one person, but in minimum lengths, even in a parlor stage in a restaurant, you're gonna perform for 20 people, and one of them is gonna be a little bit moody or a little bit drunk.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So that was where you got your crowd management skills also.
That's right. So I started off at 17 as the official magician at the Magic Theatre restaurant in Sunway Pyramid, opened by my friend. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was the official magician there. I think I was earning about 5,000 ringgit. It's about $1,000.
You gotta do shows every day.
Every single day during dinner time. Then you have to go on the stage to do a parlor show. Maximum capacity of the crowd that time was about 80 to 100 packs.
Oh, wow.
So I learned how to be on stage in a hard crowd, because you must understand people are eating, people are having dialogue and so forth. You have to make them focus their attention on you, while they're eating is not an easy task at 17, 18 years old. I
don't think it's an easy task at any age also. I mean, people would much prefer to eat their stuff.
That's correct. And to have you do that, and to have I'm so thankful that I actually went through that practice. Because I also understand that, hey, it's not their responsibility to look at you. So you must actually manage the crowd when someone not looking at you and someone are looking at you. And that's
how you do it. How do you hook attention from hungry people that maybe would rather just like enjoy each other's company?
So there are many ways that I actually figured out last time. So one of the ways was that pick the prettiest lady to come on the stage first. So when that happens, everybody actually looks to the stage, regardless of guy or girl. So you pick the prettiest audience member to come on stage. Yeah, okay. Second thing is that offer money. So for example, I'm going to change. So the first trick was like usually okay, I'm going to change your 5 ringgit into 50 ringgit only if you follow my so first person audience. I promise you that I'll give you this. It's not a trick, and then it goes on. So I guess that was how I opened, how to get a hook. So to get it's a lot of creative ways because sometimes during weekdays you only have 2 tables. It's given, right? Sometimes in a restaurant you only have 2 tables. It's not your fault. But the show must go on.
Wow. So you learn a lot of things then. You learn under pressure. You learn how to deal with people that might not be the most initially receptive. You learn how to manage a crowd. You learn how to manage skepticism and hecklers. And
I guess I guess these are really important skills as a performer that interacts, and that interacts rather than a monotonous performer on stage just to sing, because to measure the crowd, it really needs tons and tons of rehearsal because the crowd always changes.
The crowd changes.
So, but yet still in 100 crowd, most likely you already saw 100 crowd.
Yeah.
Hence that your experience leads you back. Hey, I've done this before. This is how I managed last time. But if you haven't reached that 1,000 crowd yet, you still don't know what to do when you hit that 336. Hey, it's different. What I'm going to do today. Yeah. Oh man, he's angry with his wife. Yeah. And he's just doing it from me. Yeah. So you got to know how to do it subtly. Yeah.
Wow. Let's talk about the after you're performing there. What was the next step? Like the big stage for you, and also what was your design in terms of your character? Because you mentioned just now that design character, you got to make it likable. So what was the next big stage after the restaurant for you?
So after the restaurant already, I went to university. So I graduated as a petroleum engineer. I was a son of...
Wait, what? Petroleum engineer?
Yeah, petroleum engineer. I could study because my parents were teachers, but I didn't really like to study. Yeah, so I went in a scholarship for Petronas. Yeah.
Did you care that much about being a petroleum engineer considering you're more famous?
Oh, I didn't give a shit about petroleum engineering, right? Yeah. Because why was it? Why? Because my parents couldn't afford. It's not their fault. Yeah, I mean they couldn't afford sending me to a university, and I think it's their dream for me to be either a doctor or an engineer. Yeah, it's what parents do, right? They care for you. Yeah, that time I didn't really.
Were they super supportive of magic? Like I mean, hey, look, man, you're making thousands of dollars a night. You're on newspaper, but they ask you to be a petroleum engineer. Like,
yeah, because you must understand stability is a very different things when your parents think about it. You might make 1,000 now, but for them it's trendy. It's trendy. New blood will always rise up. You get what I mean? So most likely this will last for 1, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years.
Right.
And they're worried about you, sincerely worried about you. And I couldn't get it at that time. And when you're young, you're just very rebellious. Yeah. Really very, very rebellious. Yeah. And I get it now. Yeah. But so during those days, when I studied petroleum engineering, after I studied petroleum engineering already, I cheated a lot in university just to get through. Yeah. Cheated a lot, yeah. And the only way to cheat in university is using money, yeah. Because that's the only leverage I had because I was working. I was already working.
So we call it outsourcing these days. Last time no ChatGPT, so someone do your homework.
That's right. So but to do your homework, you either got to be a really, really pretty girl. No handsome guy's gonna get it done unless the girl's helping him, yeah. Or you gotta have some money, yeah. You gotta have some money. So luckily, I was already working.
So you're hustling magic and then paying people to do your work.
Exactly, that was my life in university. Yeah, so I was working and the rest, and I was paying people to take my tests, and I couldn't take the exams. So exams, I've got to do it myself. Yeah. And also my coursework. So coursework was very important at the time because coursework played about 40%. So I had to pay people to do my coursework. It was.
Wait, were they good?
Yeah.
Were they good? Like did they get it done well? Or?
They didn't get it done. I find a person that's more expensive. Yeah. That's
outsourcing 101.
Yeah. So I learned about delegation. Or monetary delegation during those days. Monetary delegation.
So wow story. What happens next? What's the height of magic that you found yourself scaling out the restaurant?
So after the restaurant already, then I went up to university. So on the last paper of university, which was French, I took a French university for 5 years. Yeah.
What?
You had to take an extracurricular language in my university. So I didn't want to take Mandarin. Yeah, because when I went in there, I was fighting literally with Egyptians, Sudanese, and everything to learn a language that's my mother language. Yeah, and if they got higher in the exam,
don't look good. Not a good look.
Don't look good at all on me, man.
Not a good look.
Not a good look when the Sudanese goes on for your oral exam and speaks better Mandarin than you. I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah, so that's what happened, and then after the final exam in French, yeah, I took off and went to Egypt.
Whoa!
Yeah.
What? Wow!
So in university, I'm just gonna cut the story short. So in university, I was already working a lot freelance already, and I felt that the Middle Eastern crowd were paying the most. Why? Because of the currency exchange. Oh. Yeah, it was pegged at 3.8. So for every $1,000, it's 4,000 ringgit at that time. Yeah. So I didn't want to battle it out with fresh grads. Yeah, I want to make sure that I'm making at least 4 to 5 times more than them. Yeah. So I picked the Middle East. Why the Middle East? If you go to the US, you're fighting with magicians that are articulate, they are proficient in the language. But if you go to the Middle East,
maybe not many.
No, it's almost zero because Middle Easterns, especially Egyptians or especially locals, are not allowed to do magic. It's haram. Yeah, it's
but they want to see the show though.
That's right. They want to see the show. So what happens is that I usually import people from overseas. So to make myself more marketable, I marketed myself as a Japanese magician. Yeah, because if you're a Malaysian magician going to there, yeah, you can't really charge high, right? Yeah.
So what's your Japanese magician stage name?
David San. Yeah.
David San.
David San. So it's just going there, yeah, making my slang a little bit weirder and speaking good professional English because they think that Malaysian can't speak English, right? Yeah. Yeah. So when you go there, yeah. So when people caught me at the time, I said, "Isn't that mix Singaporean with Japanese?" Yeah. Yeah. Because I don't know why you couldn't really sell Malaysian magician that time. So yeah, I went there. And yeah, I was making quite good money after university.
What was your persona character? Like, what were you designing it around?
Very polite. Yeah. You gotta encompass a Japanese kind of magician where you're very polite and you're focusing more on skill. Yeah. So that was what I do. So when you're doing like that, and for Egyptian culture, for Middle Eastern culture, which is very aggressive, when I see such a polite person like that, they don't bully you. Yeah, they don't bully. They don't. Oh, he's weak. Oh, he's soft. I want to protect. Yeah. So if you go with such a egoistical attitude where I'm smart and you speak really, really sharp, yeah, most likely they want to find your faults. Yeah. Especially when you're young. So I learned how to actually be softer and learn how to actually be vulnerable. I would say that. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So during those performance years, yeah. So it was a good thing because I managed to measure the crowd during my restaurant days. So I went to Middle East. So I went to Algeria, Morocco, Marrakesh, Casablanca, Egypt, the whole Egypt, and I work under two companies that they can't really work. I work under Heineken, Carlsberg, and also alcohol companies.
Heineken and
Carlsberg, and also Philip Morris International.
Oh, that's a smoke, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't smoke. Yeah. So I don't smoke, but I did magic with cigarettes. Yeah.
Wow.
So all these companies could pay really, really big. Yeah. Hence, and also they couldn't employ locals. Alcohol. And
it's haram.
It's haram. Both magic and alcohol is haram.
Whatever.
So I capitalized on that market. I think I was making a good $8 to $9 grand US during those days. Yeah, every month. Yeah.
Wow.
But it was hard work though because every day I had to perform for about 6 to 8 hours every day.
Wow.
Every day. Yeah. Because
it's your 20s, your early 20s.
21, 22. Yeah.
Wow.
But the reason being is because when you go there and you pitch and they said how long can you work, when you're young you said I can work the whole day every single day 7 days a week. Yeah. And then you charge $1,000 per day, $1,000 per day. Yeah. And it so it's quite crazy. Yeah.
They really have you work every day.
Yeah, they really had me work every day. Yeah, literally every single day. But I was very driven, very, very driven. And when you're young at that age and you're thinking if you go back, right now there's no turning back right now. Everybody is already in their cubicle, working up towards.
So this is it, man.
It's still
such an unusual story because it's like, I was maybe thinking like you would just go to Genting and perform, but you are all the way in some like far-flung part of the world, Algeria, Casablanca. I was like, God damn, like I don't even think I've been to these countries before.
Yeah, you must understand because those countries were colonized by the French and I could speak French. This is the first thing. The second thing is that if I
speak French,
un, deux, trois, quatre, cinq.
I have like no idea what you're saying.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
J'ai étudié le français 6 mois at university. So I studied in university for France. But still, if I were to go to Genting, like how you said just now, most likely Genting would cap my earning at about 3,000 to 5,000 ringgit a month. Most likely, and it's in ringgit. Yeah, you must understand. Yeah. And I'll be fighting with that time performers from Ukraine.
So it's a game that you might not win.
Yeah, so if I play that game, I might get experience, but I wouldn't get capital. So at that time I was definitely finding capital to start something. So after that, I got saved up enough. Then I started my own production. The first ever big illusion show in Egypt was not produced by an Egyptian. It was actually produced by a Malaysian. It was me. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So what's the leap from performing to producing? Because most people are magician and they stay being a magician, but you have parlayed that into entrepreneurship and production and design and directing. So what's the first thought instead of like just I just want to perform, I want to start producing? Why do you have the idea?
You either need balls of steel or a bad heartbreak. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, or not. No action will come. Yeah, yeah.
Which one is it?
It's most likely both. Yeah.
Both.
So when you're 22, 23 years old, yeah, you're out in the world, and you fall in love. Yeah, most likely that girl will leave you for a better guy because you haven't matured out yet, right? Yeah, you haven't matured out. So that happens to a lot of guys. Yeah, that happened to me too. Yeah, thought you're good, and then that girl leaves you to someone more capable.
What? But you make 8-9 grand, or what does capable mean? Like the guy was what?
I mean, everyone. You look to the left, there's always someone capable. You look to the left, there's always someone that's not so capable, right? Yes, 8-9 grand that time also. I'm sure there's someone more capable than 8-9 grand.
Yeah,
it's more mature. It's not so emotionally disturbed. Yeah, because you're young. Yeah. So because of that, and you must understand, I was buying time daily. My time daily with that, I didn't have time for her. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's not that it's 8-9 grand. It's 8-9 grand every single day. It's not really worth it. If you think about it in the relationship.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was the big point. So after that, when I saw her left for another, at that time my ex, I saw her left for another guy that's more capable, a little bit more stable, and so forth. I said, I'm gonna be that guy, and that was my jump. Yeah, that was my jump, and also balls of steel. So I went in Egypt. There was this company named Mobideal. It's the comparison of Maxis. Yeah, I went to pitch at their lobby. Yeah, their events. I said I'd do a free event for them. I managed to get their CEO's attention, and then from their CEO's attention, I said that magic is such a big thing right here, and I can make it bigger. And I got about, I think, for sponsorship about 1-something million. Not much because it's a 3,000-seater show for 5 days. 1-something million. I could make about, if I'm not mistaken, I still remember the 38 to 40,000 grand dollars at that time. And yeah, I took the risk. Yeah, I still didn't have a credit card at the time. Just so you know.
Wow.
I just had a credit card, so I had about $3,000 in my pocket. Yeah,
okay.
$3,000 in my pocket. If anything goes wrong the show, run to the airport, buy the first ticket out. That was my plan. That was my escape plan. No, because I still remember because I didn't have a credit card, so you can't buy it online. You can't buy it online. And that time the online system was still very, very bad. Even if you go to the counter at the airport, cash, pure US dollars. So I had about $3,000. Yeah,
that was the plan. That
was the escape plan.
If this screws up, we got to get out.
We got to get out before people chase you.
What was it like to sit down and go from just performing to producing? What does it take to be a producer, director, designer of a performance?
So you must understand, I didn't start from performing to producing small shows. From performing, I produced a mega show of 3,000 packs straight away. Yeah. With world-class performers at that time. Yeah. Some of the world champions. Yeah.
What's it like?
Yeah. It was, okay. So because I had a leverage of profits I have, which was about 38 to 40,000, what I did was that delegation again. I employed somebody that has produced a show before.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the truth. Yeah. I employed somebody that has produced a show before. I brought him down. And at that moment, I absorbed everything he did. Absorbed every single bloody thing he did. And I became producer. Because I didn't
It's like mentoring.
I didn't know what to do. Literally, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to handle the backstage. I didn't know how to handle the sound and lights. I couldn't even program a console that time. I didn't know how to design the lighting system. Yeah, there's so many intrinsic things for producing a show. From the lighting, from the sound, how to actually doing backstage, how to actually doing your whole scripting of the whole show.
Wow.
It was crazy, and I didn't know anything when I pitched. That zero, I'm going to tell you that is totally zilch. Yeah. I employed somebody. I paid from 38,000. I paid about 12,000 for that person. Which is a huge amount. But I said, do it. I'll be your assistant producer. Yeah. Alright. So I said, you be my assistant producer. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Wow. So now I remember what I said. I'll be the producer. You be the director. This is what I actually said. Because producer, you don't know what you're supposed to do, right? You're supposed to produce the show, right? But director has to do all the technicalities, the scripting, the lighting, and everything else. Producer, what does the producer do? Producer just brings the sponsorship, brings the show. So that's how I phrase it. So I'm the producer, you're the director.
Got it. Wow. And that was the beginning of like.
Yeah, from then on, after that, I came out in the local news because the show was surprisingly successful. Yeah. And then in the local news in Malaysia, it says that, hey, local boy, it's 21, 22 years old, produced a big mega show there. And then the show was brought to Morocco, brought to Algeria, brought to Kuwait, brought to countries like that. Yeah. And it got some news in Malaysia. And then, voila, the biggest producer in Malaysia, Genting, got news, said, hey, David, we're bringing you back. You produce our shows. Rather than wasting money, you produce our shows. So, ever since 2011, a single magic show production in Genting was produced by my company.
Wow. Sense of pride? Do you feel a sense of pride? I mean, it's
actually a big sense of pride because you must understand at 2007, 6, and 8, I went to the Genting Magic Show in the hall, and I'm looking at the hall. I'm in this audience, and after 3-4 years later, I control the stage. So it's a big sense of. It's not a sense of pride. It's a sense of where your belief shifts that hey, actually anything is almost possible.
Yeah.
And when that kind of belief is ingrained in you, most likely it will help you a lot in life.
That's nuts. I mean, you just go from watching, like, it's like watching the World Cup to playing in the World Cup or whatever the heck it is. It's just like...
And that story always happens, yeah. In the UFC fighter sees UFC, sees that. Then after they fight, in the win. Yeah,
wow. How did you... so it's such an interesting story because this is a story actually about growth, about an immense amount of growth in pushing yourself, growth in just going out of your comfort zone to some really just far-flung countries, growth in going from a performer to a producer, right? And when did you decide to even you grow out of magic, start interacting with people, enter the world of entrepreneurship? Because most magicians never get there. They just perform till they're older. So when did that thought start to place?
So I guess that once you become a leader in the industry, you're going to mix with other leaders as well. So when you mix with other leaders as well, you see that, hey, they can actually expand to other things. Yeah, true. Yeah, so my circle of friends that time was Brian from Life, Timothy, which is still wait, they're all still friends with my they're all still my buddies. So this was in 2013, so 10 over years ago. So the whole circle from Life, from that time Timothy was in Nang. After that, Macro Kiosk. So the whole group at that time was in their 20s. And they were starting their first or second business already. And everybody was like trying to venture into a lot of things. And I'm like looking, hey, I'm in magic. So what else can I do? What else can I do? And I give full... I think the only reason why I ventured is because of the circle I mixed. And the circle I mixed was so driven. And I wanted to do more and not just be complacent with where they were at. Hence, it pushed me. And that's the reason why.
I see. So, did magic give you a lot of very interesting connections? Because, I mean, without a shadow of a doubt, you probably have like some incredible amounts of network. And so, how was the process like? You just built a huge network. And what was it like to, begin entrepreneurship?
I think every magician, or if you're a business person, it's possible to build a network. But building a close network that is dependable is two separate entities. You might know a person, but when you are in need of help, or if you're in need of something, most likely, it's all because of the follow-up. And the good thing about me was that I love to actually get to know people. After I perform a show already, I'll hit a person back. Not because I'm sending a newsletter, or not because I want the person to employ me back. It's because I just want to actually know about the person sincerely, and that's something. It's a habit of mine. Maybe because my parents were teachers and they wanted to know their students, and I saw how they actually really wanted to know their student, why they didn't want to study, and most likely it's because of something at the home. And I learned from that, and
Wow, you learned that they care, like you care and connect.
It's not how good the teacher is about teaching; it's how good the teacher is about caring.
Wow.
It's really true. If you don't care about a student, most likely they don't want to score a high mark just to show you, just want to impress you. Because what does a smart student want to feel appreciated? They don't want to feel smart. They want to feel appreciated. Between smart and appreciated, it's always being appreciated.
Wow. So you started a variety of businesses. I want to talk a little bit about your recent ventures into like biohacking and like health, and that's the latest thing that you're in, and also public speaking also. So amidst now you're producing shows, now you have your own business. When did you suddenly get really interested in health?
Okay, so I guess it became in 2021. I can actually show a picture that I'll send it to you. You can see that. So what happened was that I had a rough breakup, all due to my fault.
A lot of changes in your life have happened because of breakups.
I guess
production has happened.
I guess love is a big language to me.
I can see that.
Well, it's either through health breakups, health breakups, finances, right? Yeah. So I'm lucky with finances. I never got busted. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. As in for health, it was because of my breakup I got into some health issues. Yeah. Everybody has this history. Yeah. So mine just came from accidentally from that. Yeah.
Fantastic. These people have pushed you to lead better lives.
Yeah, I'm very thankful. I'm not resentful or anything. That's why I had a rough breakup. So when I had a rough breakup, really I spiraled down. After I spiraled down due to the stress. I never thought that stress could be so severe. Lost my hair. Yeah. I got bald. Yeah. Lost my hair. Whole face was inflamed. Yeah. Looked hugely bad. Yeah. I'll share a picture of Melvin later. Yeah. And totally lost it. Yeah. Spiraled out. Yeah. Don't know what happened. Yeah. When I spiraled out already, then I got really sick. Yeah, I got really sick. I looked really disgusting. Yeah. And that was the tipping point. Yeah. I said, hey, the only way to feel better right now, because even though by thinking well, my body is not accepting the thoughts. Yeah. So let's work on something that you can control. And that was my body. And I'm so glad I managed to actually make this jump or leap. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I did make this jump or leap, you must understand I'm in the entertainment circle. I'm in most likely the cream of the crop in the entertainment circle. So when I'm in the cream of the crop in the entertainment circle and I actually make that change, a lot of the others saw that, hey, David is the organizer and David is actually the champion of this. Yeah. You must understand my motto last time was when you go to a party or you're going to go to an event and you drink, and if you can't drink more, can't drink enough, I call it training. The biggest line, the most used line that I used was, what doesn't kill you, make you stronger. Yeah. And this goes on for not sleeping, drinking too much or whatsoever. Yeah. And after that, when I made a change, a lot of my comrades, or rather my really close friends, followed me on, and thanked me to be their inspiration. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm very glad about that. Yeah, because I made a change for my own self.
Yeah.
I've never felt better. I think I've never looked younger. Yeah. By metrics of even by blood work, even by cellular cell health. Yeah. I'm in my the last I checked was in my mid-20s right now.
Wow.
This year I'm 37, but trying to go back to early 20s. Yeah. My energy has been really good. I've been waking up every day, as you know, by 5 o'clock and sleeping by 10, and I still feel excited and motivated for the next day.
What's important for entrepreneurs as we get older to pay more and more attention to our health, and what are some of the practices that you do also?
So you see, I say I got very lucky because if I didn't have this epiphany at 35, most likely I'll have this epiphany at maybe my 40s or 50s until something happens. Yeah. Until something happens. So I'm very glad that I got this epiphany at 35. I wish that I had it in my late 20s, but I didn't. So it's all right. Yeah, I've missed that spot. Yeah. But in my mid 30s, when I have it, most likely, this effect still has a lot of compounding that has not been seen yet. Yeah. And I think it's so important because, first thing, you wouldn't know how bad you feel until you get good.
Wow.
Yeah. You wouldn't know how bad you feel until you get good. Yeah. And this encapsulates for everyone I saw, because if normality is living your life at 50% energy, you don't know what is 100% or 80%. You don't know. When you don't know about that, you don't seek for it.
Yeah.
Why would you want to seek?
Well, it's not in your reality.
Yeah, it's not in your reality. You wouldn't know. You say that's non-existent. Yeah, I feel great right now. I feel great, but you wouldn't even know you're at 50. Yeah.
Wow.
And even with a slight increase, with little effort as possible, and you go to 55, and you feel that, hey, this is possible. Let's go for 60. Hey, let's go for 70. Let's see what's the sky's the limit right now. And when your energy increases, your thoughts get better. The decisions get better. When your decisions get better, overall, your results.
I think it's psychosomatic, right? Psychosomatic is when, the body affects the mind and the mind affects the body. So if you feel better, you think better. When you think better, you feel better. And it's just...
this is rhetorical. It's rhetorical. You tell a person, they'll definitely understand it. Yeah. But to actually get a person to make that first move, you can't unless something happens and epiphany happens then, or they look at you change. When they look at you change, you can't. I've already come into terms with this, Brad. You cannot actually ask a person to do something, but you be the change that they want to be.
Wow.
So this was my big learning.
So you inspire them. A person look at you and go, God dang, I remember when you were not looking that good, but
So inspiration also takes a lot of repetition because you show them that you're doing the eyes, or you're showing them that you're having a good body for 2 years. And that one part of 2 years, that person suddenly falls down and has a heart, and has his chest pain. Shit, what's happening? And during that time, he looks at the post. Oh crap! Let me ask David what he's doing right now. Maybe in the next 2 months. And that kind of epiphany only happens because of luck. Yeah. So when it comes to terms with that, you cannot change people. You can only be the change that they want to be.
Wow. That's what are some interesting practices? So clearly, I'm where you do your eyes, and what are some supplements, things you do, interesting practices that you are up to in terms of, or experimenting with in terms of getting your health and the cheek back?
I think the line that I have right now in terms of the most important thing is, first thing, complexity kills action. Yeah. So the one big thing that I always do to make sure that I'm consistent, because consistency is the key, right?
Yeah.
You can't be healthy for 1 month and the next month you go back to your old habits.
Yeah.
The one big thing I do is I schedule workouts, or I schedule eating sessions, or I schedule my meetings with people that are healthier and hungrier.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow.
I found out for me what works extremely well, and for the others, the secret for a happy and healthy life is happy and healthy friends. That's really the secret. And if you schedule it in your life, you don't care about the supplements. Don't care about, because supplements finish. You must understand, supplements finish. There's really a new supplement.
That's how you learn production too. You got somebody who was more experienced, and you surround yourself with them, and you start to become that person, and you're doing the same thing in terms of health, hunger, entrepreneurship. Because entrepreneurship, you also started with the group of friends, and now you're doing the same thing.
Oh, maybe I leverage through that. Yeah, you're right. So I wouldn't actually realize until you pinpoint that. Yeah. So what I do these days is that I schedule every week. Like on Monday, I have a lunch with Horchun. Oh, do you know Horchun? Horchun is actually a developer, a property developer that also has a 6-pack. So really cool. YPO member as well. So I've scheduled with him a lunch. We're eating healthy, and then we're going to work out together. So I learned everything about him. So when you schedule this kind of things inside, you always, with that competitive edge ingrained in you, you always want to look better, feel better than them when you're having lunch. Yeah. Either that, or you don't, or you're just going to make excuse to skip lunch, right? Yeah. You don't want to make excuse to skip lunch with someone like that. Yeah. So you schedule it. Like yesterday, I scheduled training with people that are younger than me. So I always train with people that are younger than me to show to myself that, hey, I'm at 25, 24, and I can carry heavier. I have more energy than them, and they're keeping up with me. Yeah. Makes me feel great. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I just love it. Because I think people are more concerned with he does this, but this actually makes total sense. Schedule time with people that are healthier and hungrier than you, and then you start to become that.
Yeah, because maybe they're doing practices that don't actually work the best for you, but you must understand when you actually surround yourself with people like that, you don't want to be second. At the gym. You don't want to be second at the gym. And if they're happy and healthy, most likely they're not going to order a donut filled with sugar for dinner. They're not. Yeah, absolutely not. And they're going to respect your taste too. Yeah.
Wow, that actually makes a lot of sense. Let's talk about just a final few questions. A recent foray into public speaking, and speaking on big stages. Getting applause, designing great presentations. They even ask you back, right? I think it's consecutive. They ask you. They did last year, and they ask you back again. How you get into it, and how do you rock a few thousand people presentation, get invited back, and then rock it the second time better than the first time? So,
I'm very lucky because I already have that experience in speaking on stage last time
and performing as well.
Yeah. But that was magic. I had a sword. Yeah. So even though I don't get attention, I still have a trick that's supposed to wow, right? Yeah. But this time it was all about speaking.
It's different.
And obviously, as you know, my close circle are all speakers.
Yeah.
Some of the best speakers in the country are some of my best buddies. Yeah. My best buddies. So to get the audience wasn't hard. Just leverage on your friends. Tell that, hey, I'm going to do this. Can you get me the audience? If they trust you enough, they're going to give it to you. Yeah. But after that, that's the scary part because it's your good friend, right? Yeah.
So you don't want to screw it up, huh?
You don't want to screw up your good friend's client, true?
True.
If you screw up your good friend's client, wow, where are you going to put your friend? You lost the 10 years of leveraging of your friend or investment of your friend,
So you get 3,000-4,000 people. What's your top process? Was it back again the intention and everything? What's the...
Exactly. So it went down all the way to my roots. Yeah. Performing and rehearsing. you must understand. So I recently gave a talk for about 3,000 plus people, and that was my first standing ovation. The whole crowd actually gave me a standing ovation after the talk. And I'm not saying that it was an easy crowd because there were another 16 speakers. And I was the only one that actually had a standing ovation. And this is my fifth, sixth talk. For a fifth, sixth talk to get a full standing ovation with speakers, the experienced speakers, I'm very proud of myself. And if you ask why what happened, most likely because my story was very raw. Was very, very raw. And as you can see from this interview, also a lot of thought came to it. It's not a generic interview. And the story is really raw. I don't mind sharing everything. I don't want to sound good. I don't want to sound good. I don't want to sound right. I'm actually wrong in a lot of things. And most likely from that kind of vulnerability, people appreciated the learnings. And I practiced like hell for that talk. You cannot understand. Even before I went on stage, I was still practicing in the holding room. All the other speakers were sitting down talking.
And they were chilling, right? They were chilling.
I was still practicing.
Because they thought it was kind of like, just impromptu a bit, but you were.
No, but that's when I realized that my level of standards for myself is so much higher. I don't want people to clap their hands after my talk. I want people to stand up. Not only do I want to stand up, I wanted to stand up, want them to stand up because they got value. Not because they like it, it's because they got value.
Because I saw the way, I just saw snippets of it and you just mentioned it, right? I saw intention. I'm 100% sure there's scripting. I'm 100% sure there were rehearsals. There was a props also. I saw like you.
So this is the part where the scripting there, right there. So when I went on the stage, so my friends were like, "Hey, David, just go improv. You know this story by heart already." So no, I've said I'm going to actually write it down, script it out. I'm going to do what I did last time. I'm going to put a camera right there. I'm going to go in front. I'm going to talk. I'm going to rehearse. I'm going to talk the whole thing, time myself, look at the video again. Where's my body posture? Where went wrong? What pauses went wrong? What did I say correctly? What did I say not correctly?
Wow.
Do it all the time and do it all the time. Until I get it right to the day.
There's the professionalism from doing all the stuff, all the shows, all the...
So I'm actually very, very, very happy, or rather happy with myself. I still have this habit inside. Because a lot of people, once they reach a certain pinnacle or certain stage, they think that because they did the homework in the past, they are exempted from it right now. But I think that I can only get better.
Wow.
So this is something of my thought process where I actually most likely get it off from blast.
So even at 37, you still have the work ethic as when you're in your 20s, because remember you were 21 back then, and that was when you learned all of this.
Most likely better these days. Most likely better these days, because at that time when you're actually rehearsing, you don't have a benchmark. So right now when I produce, I look at how other magicians practice as well. So most likely I incorporate everything else together.
Holy moly! My final question, I guess, final couple of questions. What's next for you? Right? I mean, this has been quite a wild, crazy, interesting journey. Just starting out from fountain performing, other countries, entrepreneurship, health. It's quite a story.
So the next thing for me, I'm just going to be very quick. So I'm going to continue with my production. So I had a failed production this year. It's at Kuwait. That's the only failed production that I have. But just I learned a lot from it, on how to actually handle a production that didn't really go very well. I'll still continue with the magic productions. We're doing the magic productions in Genting for Halloween. And apart from that, for my health, I always wanted to do something for people. And the thing that actually I have, the crowd that I actually, that can really resonate with me are people that go for parties. So I created something for hangover protocol. Hangover protocol, which is also...
it's quite trendy these days.
So hangover protocol is actually the ice bath and the sauna. It's actually the ice bath with breathwork. And also, we just started something called Party Doctor. Party Doctor, which is a four ingredients based supplement that actually helps with hangover and actually helps with after party usage to recover faster.
Wow.
So because everybody who parties want to recover faster. I've not met a person who parties and doesn't want to recover faster. Hence, I could really resonate with that a lot during my days. I was an avid hardcore party goer because I thought that was work. And so I did this, and the thing works. Hopefully we can get it out by August this year and combine it with the ice bath, combine it with the breath work, and make it a holistic approach. Yeah.
That's insane. That's cool, man. I mean, they go for parties, then the next day they do a few things and they like, snap back a lot faster. And
That's right. Yeah. So most like this is something I'm actually very passionate in. Yeah, because I actually do it every single day. The ice bath. Yeah. And actually, for the ingredients itself, it's a hydration ingredient with DHM, dehydromesorecycline. Yeah. Or alcohol hangovers. Yeah. So yeah, I'm very interested in it.
Well, that's fantastic. Summary of the best lessons David Lai has learned throughout this entire incredible, we start about 13 to 37 or 24-year journey. Oh, it's pretty insane. From the moment you picked up, did you ever think you end up here when you picked up the magic book in MPH? Like,
yeah,
no way you could have thought.
So the answer is no. I mean, I've done crazy things. I've because of my work in Genting, and people actually thought that was a really good addition. I've traveled with some of the biggest gangsters in the world in their own private jets, going to collect money for people because they trusted me. Yeah, I've booked my whole private jet with my friends in a birthday party before. I've gone to overseas to produce magic shows, 3,000, 5,000 packs in a country where I don't even speak the language. Yeah.
This is quite a crazy journey.
Yeah, I met David Copperfield, who inspired me. Worked with him backstage. Yeah, it's like, when you're young, you saw Andre Agassi or Roger Federer on the court, and then like, hey, that's my inspiration. And then when you get about your 20s, you actually play with him in Wimbledon and maybe you won. Yeah, and that's the kind of experience that I think I felt, which doesn't happen for everyone. Hence, I know I'm very, very lucky.
What do you think? Just if you could summarize the secrets of success that you have learned.
Maybe I wouldn't say the secret of success, but I mean, if on top of my head, the things that always replay in my head on me is, irregardless of what happens to your life, it's the meaning you give it. That's the first thing. Irregardless of what happens to your life, it's the meaning you give it. It's okay to take time to give it the proper meaning, but you have to give it a proper meaning to learn. This is one thing that's number one. Yeah. So the second thing that I actually realized is that, hey, accept everybody for who they are. Yeah. Because when you go to a forest, you can see all the trees are different. Yeah. It's not their fault. It's because of the soil they're at. It's because of how the sun hits them and so forth.
Yeah.
Everybody's different, not because of their fault. Yeah. And you got to accept everybody for who they are. Yeah. If the person is weak, don't complain. Yeah. Find out his strengths. Yeah. Person is strong. Yeah. Also know what makes him vulnerable. Yeah. And lastly is this. Yeah. And the last one took me a long time to actually contemplate this because I was always a hustler. I was always like, hey, massive action is the cure for all. Yeah. Oh, come on, roll, rah. Don't be lazy. Come on. You gotta. So I used to wake up. If I wake up at about 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, I'll feel extremely guilty. Yeah, that's the kind of person I am. I was like, oh my God, the world just warned me. Oh, I'm lazy. And after making a 360 feedback from all my closest friends, I said that, hey, if you were me, what's one thing you would do? Change.
And what did they say?
And every single person that was close to me or know me more than 5-6 years and know me closely said this: David, don't be too hard on yourself. So the third thing is your inner dialogue. Treat yourself like your own best friend. Yeah. So every time when you talk to yourself like you're talking to your best friend. When your best friend feels that something, or your best friend break up, you're not going to tell your best friend, you're stupid. Yeah, you're an idiot. Yeah, you're not going to tell that. Yeah. So talk to yourself like you talk to your best friend. And when you do that, hey, things become so much better.
Wow. Great story. Great wisdom. I hope everybody listening, anything you want to say to the folks as we wrap up? I think this has been pretty incredible.
I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful of my journey. I hope you guys take back something. If there's one thing you can take back, I think most likely is the third thing. Yeah, talk to yourself like your best friend, and your life will actually change incredibly. Yeah,
wow, that's incredible. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Very raw, very incredible story of the amazing adventure of the wonderful David Lai. I really appreciate you coming.
Thank you, brother. Yeah,
thank you so much. And we'll catch you next time, guys. Until then,
woo!